Good evening, and welcome to Contact Buzz.
Hello. I was like, what are we doing?
I just snuck us in there real quick. We went on air without warning.
Yeah, so just prepare yourself. It's called Contact Buzz for a reason.
Yeah, exactly, and we are on a healing Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Soulful Saturday.
We've been sitting around sharing shit on Facebook and all that good stuff. And socials, keeping everything updated and our stuff out there. And we thought, what better way to continue than doing an episode of Contact Buzz. And a lot's happened since we last talked.
Heck yeah.
And we actually had our very first shamanic healing. I can't talk. Shamanic healing.
I like it.
Shamanic Healing Gallery in Norton, Virginia, of all places, which is home, guys. We said we were bringing it back home. We ain't lying. We're bringing it back home. But we did a lot of healing this past year in 2021 that we didn't even realize we were doing. We did, but didn't, you know. And then 2022 has been all about integrating all that good stuff we've been healing from and learning about. So going into the gallery, it was very special to us because this is a culmination of everything that we've been together or been through together.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was exactly how I expected. Could there have been more people? Would I have been happier about that? Sure. But I mean, I'm perfectly content with how it turned out. It was amazing. There was about 10 to 12 people there. We knew each person intimately, and that made for an interesting vibe.
I think there was one we didn't know at all.
Yeah, there was one that we didn't know, but there was several that we knew intimately, so I was intimidated by that because, you know, when you're around people a lot, you know their energy, so it's harder to read them, especially when we tune out those things like dead loved ones and stuff that they've got around them.
Yeah, because we don't discuss that with them.
Right,
Our discussions isn't with that.
No, ours is more on like a work
It's
together
spiritual
basis. Yeah, like learning spiritual things together.
Yeah.
So we don't get to know their private, personal lives typically, but so
for the most part.
For the most part, but yeah, we. For me, it was intimidating because of that reason. Because
it was your first gallery reading.
Yeah, and it was my very first gallery reading. Very first stepping out there, putting myself out as a reader, and I got some backlash for that, but that's okay.
Ciao.
Yeah, I got basically shunned from the fam, but I grew up in that family, and I have a lot of love for that family, and I always will. But the way of the religion and stuff like that, that's not me anymore. So I stepped up. I'm not hiding anything about myself. I'm going to be 100% who I am, and I want to share that with the world because I think it's beautiful. Because we've been through so much shit that we can help people.
It's freeing.
So, if I face backlash for something so beautiful and amazing, then yes, set me free. Give me all the backlash that you need.
Well, I think the truth is both of us. I mean, I've already been through this, I know what it's like.
Right.
But it's like both of us has kind of distanced ourselves from our families.
Yeah.
And if you guys are on this path with us, you know exactly what we're talking about because it's boundaries that we have to make. And so we don't feel that connection quite anymore because of, just because. It ain't because you hate them. It's, nothing ill will.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know what the vibe
match each
there
other's
anymore.
energetic fields.
Exactly.
So you're either going to vibe up or down out of each other's lives. That's just how it has to happen.
Exactly. And when you go to your family gatherings, what people that you can get in the corner and talk spirituality
everybody conjures over. And it's beautiful. And I do. I am very blessed to have a few cousins that get it too, that are on this level. Several of them are making their way, and I love that. Kudos to them. I want for everybody to rise above their current situations and to get a broader perspective, right? Because when you do, then you free yourself of a lot of thoughts and emotions that you were trapped with for years and years. So, I couldn't feel more happy. I couldn't feel more beautiful than what I do right now because I get to interact with so many amazing people and to help them and them help me on a spiritual higher level. And how could that be wrong?
It never could be. Right. There's either a helicopter hovering over the top of our heads or there's a tractor going up and down the road. I can't figure
that. Yeah, that's weird. I think it might be hovering. I don't know. It may be a tractor.
Or we're taking off.
Who knows? We're sitting here in the Appalachian Mountains, so you know how that is. You never know.
Up in the holler.
Yeah, we could be taking off. It could be time to blast out of here.
speaking of that, I think everybody's feeling that. But I do want to say, because Tanya, if you guys have watched some of the I don't think we've posted that video. Have you posted that video? Like,
oh no,
the gallery.
We need to do that. We haven't finished looking at the videos. There's still like those little increment ones.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But anyway, so Dallas, he started reading at the shop, and Tanya kind of pushed him out the nest, and
she sure did.
He would have held on forever until somebody come along.
I could have put it off forever, right, until that moment. That moment needed to happen. So I do personally want to thank Tanya from the bottom of my heart for doing that and giving me that push.
But everybody there at the gallery was like, we can see how you've progressed and started to be more confident in yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
And that is beautiful.
It's beautiful to know that my hard work is paying off. So,
that's beautiful, guys. Like, letting go of the ego and letting go of the fact that, hey, I'm not perfect.
Exactly.
And that's all of us. We have to do that. We have to understand.
Own your shit. Just be 100% authentically you.
Yes.
Be so much you that it's hard for people to take, because that's your light shining, man, and they're offended by that light.
Yeah. And we dim our own light constantly.
Yeah.
Like, so after the retreat, we had an awesome time, by the way. We had our good friend Carmen and Donnie and Lindsay and Hannah. We all come back to the Airbnb and kind of hung out. We had we laughed.
It was beautiful. It was
after the gallery, laughed. We freaking done plant medicine and like, I don't know. It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful night.
Some of us didn't have so much beautiful night.
No, they didn't. But you know, that happens.
But it's part of the plant medicine.
Part of it, absolutely.
Spirit always takes you where you need to be, and that's where we needed to be that night. That's exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything is a lesson. So when you pay attention to it, you can sit there and you can dissect every little inch of something, and it is a lesson.
Yeah.
And when you're more mindful of it, it's so crazy how more mindful of shit we are.
Yeah,
you know, it's like automatically we can sit down here after we've protecting plant medicine and everything just starts flowing. That's where contact buzzes come from.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, participating in plant medicine for us, it opens up that part of ourselves that we suppress, I guess.
Absolutely.
But also it's hard for us to just let it flow.
Yeah, to put things into our own words, and it's easier for that to flow out when we're doing the plant medicine, and I think that's beautiful. It allows all the thoughts that you have kicking around in your head to flow out, and sometimes with me, as you all know, and you know, that changes like every 30 seconds, something different's coming on, you know.
Yeah, and see, people like us, I think what it is we are constantly thinking, and we're always thinking outside of the box, so it's like constant, and for us, it takes something more upper wise to get us in the place where we like to be, and that is a very, very enlightened place to be.
Very enlightened. I totally understand why all of the hippie revolution and the spirituality, the ushering in
and why they suppressed it after
absolutely.
You know, that little
because it's dangerous.
Yeah,
An enlightened person is very dangerous. I've talked about this many times.
Well, why? Because we heal ourselves. We overcome shit that they think that it's just part of life.
Yeah.
You know, the traumas and shit and stuff you do. You know, the anger issues, the depression, the mental illnesses, all the mental illnesses.
Yeah.
It's all part of that same thing. There's just different depths of a mental illness. And, you know, the further you get up on the scale, it's just like you start to heal yourself, man. When you start mindful of yourself and you let go of ego and you say, you know, what we talked about earlier, this is how you heal. There is not any complicated way about it. The only complicated thing is that
getting
you are standing in your way and overcoming yourself. So you have to be honest with yourself.
Please,
100%
that'll be the
honest
biggest
with
thing,
yourself.
the best thing that you ever do for your life is to be honest with who you are and to start analyzing, hey, what can I do to change the things that I don't like? Can that be painful? Oh, God, yeah, for everybody. For me, it was easy because I've been beaten and battered by life, you know, but it took a lot to get to there. So I get it, but I don't get it because I wish I could tell everybody and have them understand how that one decision changes your life completely.
It does, and it's the secret. Again, it's the secret. And that's that easy. But It feels easy now, but I think this is the lesson for ourselves, is having more compassion for people who aren't awakened, because once upon a time we weren't
in that same situation.
Yeah, and that's important for us to remember, even though we got so frustrated. I think we get frustrated out of love most times.
Yeah, because we want them to see it so bad and they can't.
We want them to feel it. We want them to be where we are.
And to know, to have that beautiful understanding of
but
things.
We can't, and it frustrates us, and it's hard to be around family, certain friends that you no longer vibe with, or that's what happens. The path starts clearing, you become a fucking hermit, okay? Until your tribe comes in.
Right, and that's when you're healing, you're retreating to heal.
Yes.
Anybody that's come to our retreat, I think, is fair enough to say that they came for healing.
Yeah.
And whether they knew it or not, it always turns into a beautiful healing fest.
For all of us.
For everybody there, and it's always the most, every one of them tops the other one with the magical feel, you know.
Yeah.
So come see us. We have several dates planned.
Ooh, yes, we have all kinds of dates for next year planned. So we got a couples retreat with massages. Cool ideas. Ladies retreats with massages.
Men's retreats with massages. That's an option too for the men. We've got a lot of good stuff going on, and it's going to be great. So I hope that you all get to come see us and hang out and get to experience this beautiful thing we call life together.
Yeah, just so you know, me and I'll be there, okay? Because I'm okay with my masculine energy.
And women, I will be there because I'm in touch with my feminine energy. So that's a given, I think.
Exactly. You got to have both of it.
Exactly. It's a package deal. Duality.
With everything.
Duality and all that, you know.
You gotta give a little.
Balance each other.
Yeah, exactly. Balance. That's what we've been talking about lately in meditation, is balance and understanding things. Because we have had some major downloads and upgrades to where when we go into meditation in the third eye view now, everything is like we can see past things that our mind we wouldn't let ourselves before, which is hard. It is a process. It takes years. Some people may do it quicker than us, and that just means we learned a little slower.
Absolutely.
But that's okay, and we all get there at the pace that we need to get there.
Especially when you're stubborn asses. I'm just saying.
Lord knows. Well, when you've questioned everything your whole life,
you fight it tooth and nail until you can't no more.
Then you give in, and everybody just sees you as this whimsical, whatever.
Fairy floating around.
Yeah. I love it. A unicorn.
You ever see them little white fairies that float around in the outdoors, like here in the Appalachian Mountains? I'm sure they're everywhere else too, but they're those little white duster, like feather duster things that fly around in the air. We call them fairies.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. They're beautiful.
They are.
And that's what we do, and that's what we want to do for your life, is to float in and sprinkle a little magic and then float away.
Exactly.
And then float back eventually.
And just love you from afar.
Exactly.
Not unless you're in the tribe.
Yeah, for real.
And y'all's asses are going to be
that goes for everybody that I come in contact with, man. I want to spread my love so they can hopefully spread theirs.
Yeah.
Spread your love, not your legs. Have some self-respect and decency.
Heal your sacral chakra.
Exactly.
I think it's beautiful. Like, this whole path is fucking beautiful, but not without... I'm going to tell y'all right now, let me tell you a good example of being able to deal with your shit and still having a positive mindset, even though shit is all burning around you. I am in a position right now where I could easily go to the crazy house and check myself in. But I don't. I don't let that affect me in the ways that it would have if I wasn't so healed.
Right.
It's just something big is coming in your life and you have to stick with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the lifestyle that I live is not for the weak.
No,
at
absolutely
all.
not.
And so, it's just where we have that feeling of change.
Yeah, it's rolling in.
Yeah. So mark our words right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly, I'm going to remind you, okay, how badass you are.
That's right.
And I'm going to remind you that I'm happy and I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns and manifesting.
Absolutely, and I feel the same. Dallas, get your shit together. I know you're trying. the best that you can do, but you got to always remember to keep that shit together, because that's who you are. You're a fucking fighter. You're a survivor.
Everybody leave a message for themselves.
Absolutely.
Y'all.
You should totally record. Pull your phone out right now, pause us, and tell yourself how fucking proud you are of yourself if you've gotten as far as you have, because you've been through some shit too.
Yeah.
That's life.
That's how we grow. That's how we walk that path.
You're going to grow, and you're going to love yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, you can continue.
I love it. See, that's what it's about, guys. I couldn't see it any other way. I'm so proud of some of our closest tribes people, because they're getting their calling, man. They're quitting their jobs, and they're doing what they love.
Absolutely. And we got to actually celebrate a lot of that in our gallery reading too, where we knew so many people so intimately. We got to share their wins with everybody else.
And
it was
they got the speaking too.
Yeah,
everybody
they got the floor.
To say something.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful moment, man. I wish everybody could have been there. And they will. Eventually, everyone we are supposed to reach will be with us at some point in time, But
you know what I think we should do? We should have an O-Tent revival, but do it in a spiritual way.
We could do that at the Appalachian Spiritual Fair.
Yes.
Or anytime, really. Yes. We'll rent a big tent.
Hell yeah, out somewhere.
Yeah, we'll set up tables and have whoever wants to bring their shit to sale or whatever. Yeah. Be an old time screaming and shouting. Show y'all how we do it in the Appalachia without the religion, but give you some of that culture as well. That's a good idea.
It is. We'll have people
we could do
to speak.
A total event that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a whole
Let me put that in. Well, I can't put it in the notepad, but don't forget.
We'll mark it right there. Don't y'all steal our ideas.
We'll have an old-fashioned tent revival.
Yeah.
We'll rent out a big bottom and put up a tent.
Yeah.
Have some spiritual people come and preach.
Yeah, exactly, including us.
Yeah.
We're going to have healings, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spirit. See, that's how we get these crazy ideas to do shit, y'all.
Yeah.
And we just do it.
And
we do it.
We are reverends as well, so just
we're following in the paths of our grandfathers.
We are, absolutely.
Which we are kin by.
Yeah. Our grandfathers are first cousins. Our great-grandmothers were twin sisters. I think that's where a lot of our bond comes from, just innately. We were both in that same position
we were destined
in the family.
To be here together.
Absolutely.
To do this.
Absolutely.
At the end. I mean, we had a path before each other.
Right.
But we come together and we grow together.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It is very cool. And another thing too, if you guys are working in groups, never compare yourself to your other partner. Y'all, I know most of our people listening don't do that, but don't let that get in the way of yourself.
We're all equals here. There ain't no one person better than the other. You may have a little bit more experience on your spiritual path and you can talk about a little bit more, but that don't make you any better because you've been through it too.
Yep.
So cut each other some slack. A lot of people
support each other.
Yeah, support each other instead of ripping each other down
and learn
and being threatened by. If you're sitting in a circle and you feel threatened by somebody, that means you need to get up out of that circle and you need to politely say goodbye and go on about your way.
And don't expand that time.
Don't feed into that. We've all been so guilty of doing that. Time in and time out.
Hey, there's that little bug.
That's awesome.
Ain't it right there?
I can't see.
Oh, shit.
Is it like...
It's black, and they got some kind of weird head.
Yeah, that's it, I'd say. I just can't place it.
It's underneath that piece of aloe that's laying there.
Oh, okay. I see the back end of it. You're right, I do believe. Because it had that white stripe on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. We've had this little bug in here on our plants that we've been harvesting.
Yeah, I brought in my mom's lemongrass and my lemongrass, and they've been outside as it's spring, so we got a little colony.
You got a little sub-colony in here, subculture.
And then Mom's like, take care of my Venus flytraps. So if you guys know and seen pictures of the sanctuary, You know, I've got all kinds of house plants, and my mom's gave me some, and other people's gave me some, and then
mine are here in triage right now.
Dallas is here in triage. They're making a good recovery.
They are. I have a tendency to overwater, so I'm working on my green thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm finding my chemistry.
That's another thing too. Is
plants.
like, don't say you can't do anything.
Right.
And if that's one thing that Spirit taught us, and if we look at it right now, Dallas, just we were taught how to be, you know, confident in ourselves to be able to do it.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
So it helped with future endeavors, and what we're doing now is saying, you know what, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We've always been that way together,
right.
But this helps to push us even more, because the one thing about me and Dallas is if you leave us sedentary, we'll sit here like goddamn frogs.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you know, we'll get down into that lower vibrational thing and be like, God damn, man, this is shit.
Right.
So we catch ourselves, and after we had the gallery reading, we come home, and oh my God, the energy just went to shit for a week.
Yeah,
a good week.
It's hard. It's been hard energy.
Yeah, no matter how much plant medicine you have.
Yeah.
Because it's just that you diving back into that energy. I guess
we have to be very protective when we dip down into that energy. So it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. And that's where we was talking about balance earlier. Something Spirit was telling us yesterday is you see when you have that you have to have that balance, because what's happening is with the upgrades and the ascensions, our light bodies are growing. Yeah. So we got to readdress the balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because whenever we are in that shit.
No, it's true.
I know.
When we're in the balance, like when we're learning to do the balance.
Exactly. So the more we feel, the better balance we have to have.
Yeah. So
we have to learn that balance every time that we have an ascension.
Yeah.
And that light body grows.
You know what I have just thought about?
What?
Sorry, not about the light body, but about how much we've grown in plant medicine as well.
Oh, I know.
Because when we first started meditating, we would forget long periods of our meditation, and
we
couldn't remember what we talked about.
No.
Which I think it wasn't meant to be remembered until we needed it.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't do that nearly as much anymore.
Oh God, no! It's all productive.
All. Right? Yeah, it's all been. Well, now we do get so deep in meditation sometimes that we lose ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
No.
And we are doing important work. We just cannot remember it when we come back.
Oh yeah, because it's just going to the balance thing. You're going outside of a boundary that you can't recognize right now, and I can't recognize right now because I do the same shit. Yeah. You know, it's just like that is big energy.
Yes.
And got that big energy.
That's all the big energy.
They're with the ADD. But blame it on that.
I love it.
But anyway, that energy plays a big part in everything.
Everything on this earth.
It's all energy, right?
And energy is so easily read when you tap into it.
No
and you start
shit.
To
and people act
yourself.
like you.
I mean, it's scary how good it gets sometimes.
That's why it gets lonely for people.
It does,
because
you can see through everybody's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always see
and you don't meet no
bullshit.
truly authentic people.
Yeah, so you don't waste your time with them and you go on about your day.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to form friendships with somebody that's not going to be ever in your wheelhouse of talking and all that.
Yeah, and that goes for
or supporting you or whatever.
Family, whatever.
Yeah, anything.
People.
That's how we outgrow it.
It's
that's
hard,
how we
I know.
rise
It's a hard
above.
decision because we think that our family is there for us and because we're so bonded to our family, but the truth is when you get shunned by your family for a year and you don't have anybody in your circle at all while you're going through a hard time, you learn how strong you are.
Oh God, yeah, and I've been there too.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
a lonely. I've always been a lonesome, solitary creature,
me too.
And I've always handled my shit, man. I've always went inside and dealt with my shit what I could, you know, and the things that I couldn't. We started healing together here in the sanctuary, you know, and I still, I'm sure, have tons of stuff that I'm going to have to heal from eventually. But you know what? We're being more open and more receptive to it every day, and that's why we are getting so good at reading the energies. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. I'm telling you, this, when you choose to quit fighting yourself and quit being stubborn, I know, Lulu, quit being stubborn. I know you're going to be listening. And start to love yourself. Realize that the issues that you have around you do not define who you are as a person. That you are so much better than you've ever been treated in your life. And that you need to start figuring out what it is that you need to heal so you can learn and grow and love yourself. Because it happens, I promise. I've been right there. I've been in such devastation before. And I felt like I watched my whole world fall down to the ground and burn to the embers.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's when I rose up, and that's when I realized my power, and that's when I realized I was worth more than what I had ever accepted in life, and you will too.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah, you know? That's a beautiful feeling. And, you know, sometimes people might ride it out for a good 14, 15 years and go through all this shit and then finally wake up one day and go, I'm not going to do this anymore. If anybody knows about, you know, being in a marriage with someone that you have absolutely no emotional connection with in that way, but you care about them and you know, and because, you know, it's like when you deal with mental illness, that is the toughest shit.
Oh God,
that
definitely.
Is such the toughest shit. And part of my generational trauma and healing, I'm very aware of, and all my healing, I'm very aware of that. I'm in the midst of ending lessons for a new chapter in the places in my life. So it's very hard when you have this big heart and the empathy and the compassion. We tend to get stuck in situations.
Yeah.
And we don't see any way out of it.
Right.
And
because we're trying to be compassionate about it.
Yeah,
and
trying
then,
to be compassionate.
And then you wake up one day, and then you realize the true compassion will be to just detach and let it go completely.
Yeah.
But some people cannot do that.
No, they can't do that, and it's scary and it's sad for them. But you know, you have to get the strength to walk away.
You can't feel guilty for having to leave them behind. I know I've channeled this before.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't, because it makes more sense to me now when that message was first got put out there. You know, you can't feel guilty for leaving them behind.
Yeah, it's different now. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's evolved a little bit.
It is.
Because we only look at it one-sided, but then we realize it's multi-dimensional there, you know.
Yeah.
You can see letting go in different ways, you know.
Also, too, I want to say that if you find yourself reliving a lesson and you get in the midst of it and get mindful of it, don't be hard on yourself about that. Do not ever be hard on yourself about that, because that is part of learning and growing.
Absolutely.
And being aware of it is beautiful. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And, you know, really evaluate yourself, because I'm in the midst of that right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're always healing.
We are.
But I'm healing something huge that affected my life for a very long time and caused most of my hell that I've been through in my life.
Absolutely.
So one day my story will be told.
Oh, it's being told, you know, daily as you live your life authentically like we do, you know.
And that's to inspire other people.
But we are going to write a book and tell our stories for sure. You guys know that we've been talking about that for a while. We're going to try to do that this winter. I'm trying to put ourselves some accountability here.
Yeah.
Because we want to get our stories out there because they're very unique and very...
it's part of our legacies that we want to leave.
Exactly. And then we want to be able to use our experiences to help you guys out too, you know.
Yeah. That's exactly right. But I think it is such a beautiful process, but so painful.
Yeah.
You know, that's what hurts so much. And people, I get it. I totally get it on different aspects. And I think that's part of the shamanic path, is you have to go through this to know, to help other people. You know, you got to do it, to go through it, to know what it's like.
Because we're always going to feel pain.
You look cute. You look like a forestry department guy.
I love it.
Say hi, Jonah, if you're on Contact Buzz.
We got a shoulder shrug and a walk out the door.
Yeah. Oh, Jonah went to the gallery reading, and it was so bonding.
Yeah, it was such a good moment for them.
Yeah.
He really got to see what we did. You know, he got to see his mom in action, and it's really cool.
Mom.
I think he was pretty impressed.
Mom and her crazy ass friend too.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what he thinks. Well, he don't. He just
used to,
us.
but I think we're convincing him otherwise.
Yeah. He said, he's at the window looking at. He said he couldn't. What was it? What did he say? He said he couldn't. No, I can't.
He couldn't deny.
Yeah.
After seeing us read, he couldn't understand what we were doing or how we did what we did after he saw it in action.
Said, I can't.
Yeah.
Speak up on that one.
Yeah, he couldn't explain it.
Explain it. Yeah. Lord Jesus, help me. Oh, shit. Ooh, it happens.
It does.
How long? What are we on time?
30 minutes.
Do you want to end it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys.